In our next Big Ten schedule preview, we're going to be going over a team that definitely needs a lot more attention, which is Indiana. This is a team that I think has potential to go on to a pretty good bowl game next season, and that's what we're going to be going over today. We're going to be going over a few players that Indiana will be losing, who they're going to be returning, and also we're going to give a first look at their schedule in 2019. Looking at this, they were 5-7 last season, kind of struggled. Honestly, they probably could have done better. I expected a little bit more from them. But they were close to making a bowl game. They returned Peyton Ramsey at quarterback. That is huge. I think this kid really has a lot of potential. In my Big Ten rankings for the quarterbacks, in that video, I actually had Ramsey up pretty high. His stats are outstanding. He's putting up some pretty big numbers, and really he's not being talked about a whole lot. I think he could go on to be an NFL quarterback if he can have a good season here. This would be huge for him. They returned Scott at running back. There's one receiver, 3 offensive linemen. Those are their losses on offense. Not too bad there with one receiver. That will help Ramsey to be able to connect with the guys that he already knows. 3 offensive linemen, that'll probably be their biggest loss. They also lose 2 defensive linemen, 1 linebacker, and a safety. So really 4 losses, or 4 starting losses on defense. Not too many losses. This should be a team with a ton of potential, as I've said. Very good offense, I think. Bowl season possibility, I definitely think is possible. I definitely think that this team could get to 6 or even 7 wins next season. They could possibly even make a run for 8. I mean, their schedule is pretty favorable. That's what we're going to be going over next. Now, they get Ball State, Eastern Illinois to kick off the season. They got a couple of challenges within the next 3 weeks. Ohio State at home. That's going to be a dangerous game for Ohio State. I think that if Indiana can go into that game confident, they can win that game. If they do, that really should set up a pretty good season for this Indiana team. This Indiana team, they haven't been very good in quite a while, so this would be huge for them to be able to have a pretty good season. And this is definitely the season to do it, I think, as well. I mean, they've got all the tools and stuff. It just depends on whether they can use their potential. They've got UConn on September 21st, should be a win there. And then the next week they got at Michigan State, should be a challenge. And then Rutgers is the last game on this schedule. I'm going to say it's a given. At Maryland, at Nebraska within the next couple of weeks, those should be 2 tougher road games. Maryland, of course, I'm not expecting much out of them, but Nebraska, of course, that's always a tough place to play, so Indiana's going to have to come with their A game on that one. Plus, I'm expecting Nebraska to be pretty good next year. Northwestern at home, that'll be a tougher game as well. Definitely a winnable one. At Penn State versus Michigan, and then at Purdue. So really, they don't get a whole lot of a break within those last 6 games. Really, Maryland's your really easiest game in that 6-game stretch. And of course, you do have 2 home games in there, Northwestern and Michigan, but those 2 certainly will not be easy. So really, looking at difficulty of schedule, I'd say November is their toughest month, just because you got 4 games where it's very uncertain. Of course, the good thing is that they have Northwestern and Michigan at home. If they have one of those as a road game, definitely would be it'd definitely be a tougher story for this team. But yeah, that's about it for this preview. Let me know your guys' thoughts on Indiana in the comments below. Estimated record 5-7 to 9-3 for me. If you want a more definite answer, I'd say 6 to 8 wins. Still very uncertain about this team. We are several months away from the season kickoff, so of course these are still going to change. We'll be going over Indiana once again in the summer once we have a more accurate research on this team. And so yeah, once again, you guys, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all later.